Okay. So, oh, life. Life is such a amazing thing because first of all, you are life. And I am being also lived by life. So life is happening through me. So it's interesting. Today I had a couple very challenging things arise um, in my world um, that really were gifts for myself around just who, like, I am the creator of my own universe. Like, these things were happening for me, not to me, to, I think, maybe remind me of a couple things that I think so easily as humans we can slip back into old patterns or an unconscious state. Um, as well as I think being really discerning, I think even for myself around who I give my energy to, and what does that look like. I think sometimes I'm very open and I'm very giving um, of myself, which I always should be. That is the most pure state of my consciousness. But there's also an element around, I think, knowing when interacting with another human being may not be good um, for your overall growth. Like, I'm not a proponent of like, if you learn the lesson, you have to then like move on and remove yourself and not think that the other person's going to change, and also not to stay and sit in something hoping that your reaction's going to change. It may or it may not, but there's also an element of, I think, removal. If you've had enough interactions with somebody that like, okay, the only way I ever make this interaction better is by removing myself from this. And sometimes those are really hard decisions. And I think our innate human instinct is to want to stay in those relationships and try to make it better or have a different reaction. But sometimes I think there's an element where sometimes you just need to realize when it's time to move on, um, and appreciate the lessons you've already learned. But going back again and again and again is, unless you literally become so detached that you can no longer, I guess, have any feelings. I mean, I have a lot of work to do to get to a state where some of the people that trigger me the most, where I'm clearly unbothered by them. And I have yet to reach that state, regardless of what I know um, about the universe or how the universe works. I can have all that knowingness, but actually being in a state where I am so unbothered by other people's interactions, I will tell you, I have a long ways to go. So, um, which, that's my growth. And so I think one of the biggest steps forward for me is to realize that everything that is happening to me is happening for me. It's happening to teach me. It's happening to rebalance the karmic scales. It's happening to give me insights of how the next time it happens, that I get to rise above it a little bit better or in a little bit different way. And, you know, I think we have this trait as human beings where how somebody else interacts is not a reflection of you. How you choose to show up and how you choose to interact is a reflection on you. And so, just I wanted to share this because, yeah, this morning was really, really, really tough. Um, and I think there's moments where it's kind of like I'm in flow and I'm in a thing, and then I'll interact with somebody, and wow, it really takes me out. And um, I have to really look at like, why is that? And again, be very discerning of, is that somebody I want to choose to be in orbit with any longer? Because, um, yeah, I think there's some things there. And I think there's yes, you're probably going to get somebody else that's going to give you some other lesson at some other point, but I think there's also something to be said around once you've learned your lesson, and if you feel like you've truly learned it and you've identified it, that moving on is okay too. So I'm here on this evolution of consciousness, of growth, and um, I'd be lying to you if I said I have it all figured out. Um, it's moment by moment. And it's a ride.